Hello Internet, my name is Daniel and I love movies, at least when Hollywood doesn't totally ruin them. And I just got done rewatching The Incredibles again and I found myself wondering, why do superheroes wear capes? I mean, they're so long and billowy, they really just cannot be very practical. You'd be lucky to get through a single fight without tripping over it or getting tangled up in it, and yet, for decades, superheroes have been wearing capes. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. Didn't they watch The Incredibles? Well, I admit, I was stumped. The best I could come up with was that, well, crime fighting is messy work and you need something to wipe the snot and blood off your face with. But I knew there had to be a better reason than that, so I went on the internet to do a bit of research and found out that there's actually quite a few better reasons than that. And we're going to talk about what I found out today. These are the top 4 reasons why superheroes wear capes. Number 1. Symbolism. This is probably best illustrated with Superman. Now I know that this can change somewhat depending on the version of the Superman story you're actually reading. And in some of them, it's that the cape was actually a blanket that he was sent to Earth in. As far as I'm aware, I'm not a huge Superman comic reader, and thus it would hold some sentimental value from him from what I understand. But he's often depicted as a sort of guardian angel of the human race. And capes and robes have often been the fashion that many gods have been depicted with throughout history, as well as many religious leaders throughout the world. So people could get a lot of information about Superman just by seeing his picture. And of course, giving him wings would have been a bit too much. And like I said, I'm sure there's a lot more Kryptonian history behind his cape and wearing his cape than I know about, and someone in the comments I'm sure who knows the comic books a lot better than I do will explain it, but that's a whole nother can of worms for a whole nother day. The point is, symbolism is certainly a reason why superheroes would wear capes, or at least some of them. Batman would be another great example of this because the cape, and particularly the wings, really makes him look a lot more bat-like. I mean, honestly, could you take the costume as seriously if it didn't have the wings? Number 2. Utility. Batman is again a good example of this as well, because as shown in the Dark Knight trilogy, he uses the wings on his costume to actually glide throughout Gotham. And I suppose depending on what the cape is made out of, it might actually help you protect yourself from flying objects such as shrapnel, and keep you warm on cold nights. Though this would probably be a little bit more important for female superheroes that have a bit more revealing costumes such as the Scarlet Witch or Storm, but it would help anyone. Number 3. Strategy. Batman uses his cape to great effect in this way, because with it being so dark, he's actually able to camouflage himself in the night much better than he would have otherwise. After all, you're going to notice a guy perched on top of a wall a lot faster than that same guy with a cape, because the cape kind of breaks his shadowy outline in a way that makes the shadow look like it's cast by some inanimate object, perhaps like a nearby building. And you could even reason that in a pitched battle, it would actually be harder to shoot the hero with a gun because you don't know exactly where the hero's body begins and ends when you're looking at the cape. Of course, in a pitched battle, it's a lot harder to move without getting tripped up when you're wearing a cape, like we mentioned, so I mean, there's pros and cons. But anyway, back on topic, there could also be a psychological element to wearing capes. Think of a cobra spreading its hood, or a cat making its fur stand on end in order to appear larger and intimidate the other animal. Same basic principle applies here. A villain may be much more intimidated on a subconscious level by, say, Superman or Batman than by Spider-Man, simply because Superman and Batman have those big billowing capes behind them, while Spider-Man just kinda looks like a skinny kid in pajamas. Sorry, Spidey fans. But there's no arguing that the capes do make Batman and Superman look a lot bigger and more intimidating. And that's even after the fact that you've identified that Batman is in fact human and not some creature of the night. And finally, number 4. The artwork. Now this is the one that I feel most people will be aware of already, because it's been talked about in just about every video on superhero capes on the internet, but there's no denying that in terms of artwork in comic books, because obviously when you open up and actually look at the comic book, you see that the pages do not move. So the cape drawn as cloth fluttering around a character signifies that the superhero is some super spinning dynamo of action and movement, as opposed to just a static image, even though that's technically what they are. And it could also be argued that it cuts a more impressive figure since the character, again, looks a lot bigger. Or maybe it's just cooler to look at. I'll let you be the judge. Just as an example, take a look at Superman in this picture with his cape, and then check out the difference when we remove the cape but keep the rest of the picture the same. There's quite a big difference, isn't there? So yeah, the dynamic look argument has been used a lot, I know, but it's still just as valid as any of the other arguments. But of course, just because we can come up with a few reasons why superheroes would wear capes, that doesn't actually mean they're always a good idea. So, for all those superheroes who wear capes, good luck.